Well, just overall, I thought we had a very productive spring. I think our players learned a lot and worked hard at what's important, and that's your technique and your fundamentals and getting better at your position. As far as the game went today, it kind of goes pretty much as expected as far as the red team winning. Hopefully they did win, and you know, you would think they would. But there's a couple things that we had issues with, and offensively, obviously, the turnovers. I thought defensively we did a nice job. You know, the linebackers in the secondary are very experienced, and it really showed up. You know, they kind of knew what was going on. They weren't looking to the sideline, to their coaches. And that's really what I wanted to get out of it, was the first time they're out on the field by themselves, running the show. And I was happy with the one defense. If we wouldn't have turned the ball over with the one offense, then I thought it would have been a pretty good day. As far as the white team goes, you know, it's about them individually seeing how they played and seeing where they fit in with the depth, and that's something that, you know, we'll continue to evaluate.
Safe to say Brandon's the starter at this point?
Well, we're not going to name it who's the starter, but he's had the better spring when you combine everything together. He's ran the offense better than the other two guys have at this point. He's done some nice things. You know, he understands it. He's very coachable, and he knows what the progressions are, has a good idea about coverages, and has done a nice job of studying that. You know, DeMarcus continues to show his skill and his ability, but we have to get rid of the mistakes. And you know, he hasn't played for 2 years, so obviously there's some rust there, and he's working hard to get rid of it. He's very coachable, and I like that a lot. And then James, you know, I thought did some good things. He had to work with the twos the whole time against the one defense, and that's tough. But you know, he has a good understanding of the offense, and he just has to have more timing because he doesn't have a strong arm as the other two. So, and that's hard to do when you're rotating so many receivers in there.
Something that I'm sure wasn't a surprise to you with the play at the tight ends today. Mitchell, Tyler, you know, dropped a couple, but still good day. Gorski caught one. Just your thought on?
Yeah, tight ends is definitely a strength of our offense. I feel like all four guys can go in there and play at any time. Certainly, we've got some skill there throwing the ball down the field. Tyler's had a really good spring. It's the first time he's really played tight end. He transitioned from wide receiver. I really like his attitude. He's a really willing learner. Gives us a lot of energy on the offense, and obviously he's a playmaker. But all four of them are really good players. And Mitchell, I think, has had a really good spring. He's certainly very mature and understands both what to do in the run game and the passing game.
Just want to evaluate the spring overall. Do you think your first spring as head coach went the way you expected it to? Well,
I think what we really worked hard to try to establish is that the players understand what our expectations are of them. You know, how we come out to practice to work, what type of tempo that we have, that it is really important to us as a staff that they get better on an individual basis with their technique and their fundamentals, and that we're going to grind hard every day. We have to get it to where they expect that from themselves every day and from their teammate every day. We're not quite there yet. You know, I think they do understand what we're striving for as a staff, but they're not quite expecting that effort out of themselves every day. And so we got some work to do, but it was fun, and we enjoyed it. And I think we established some leadership, and that gives us a chance to be a good football team.
What about Willie McNeil? He's a guy who's always had some big playability. Is he a guy who can be a big weapon for you guys?
He's been our most consistent receiver all throughout spring. Every scrimmage he's had the most production. You know, he's smart enough to know all the different positions, and does a really nice job. You know, he's a guy kind of like Tyler, where he gives us energy and gives us a lot of enthusiasm out on the field. And he's very, very productive. I think he had one drop today, but he usually doesn't drop the football.
Yeah, I think at least 3 drops. Is that something that you hope to kind of clean up?
We really need to improve there. We're not used to having drops, and obviously, you know, that's something that will really hurt you. And one time we went and scored a touchdown after 2 drop passes. Usually, if that happens, you're going to be punting the ball away. So we don't like to punt. So we obviously don't, want to have drop passes.
How do you think they did picking up the offense and picking up the scheme?
Well, we still have a ways to go there. You know, we've introduced it twice now. You know, we went the first 7 days and had installation, then we came back and repeated it. You saw great improvement the second time through. Guys playing faster, playing with more confidence, and you know, that's the one thing about college football is you have to play fast. It's not just your 40 time that allows you to play fast. It's really understanding what you're doing, understanding what the other side of the ball is doing, so you don't hesitate at all. So this next time when we install it, when we come back in August, I'll expect them to have it and get it. And then it'll be our job as a coaching staff to mold that around who the starting quarterback is.
Is there anything you do, whether it's film of Arkansas or your time in Louisville, that you've given the players to kind of help them, you know, catch up?
Yeah, we make installation tape. So when you learn the offense, you watch videotape. It has a drawing of the play. Same with defense, a drawing of the defense, and then we follow it up with some clips of video. And actually, some of the offensive installations had clips of Arkansas, Illinois, Louisville. Some of the defensive clips had clips of Washington, USC, Arkansas. So it's kind of whatever we can do to teach the players, let them visualize it. And that's a good starting point, but you have some players on your team that actually have to go out and do it and feel it and learn that way. So understanding how our players learn is very critical.
Coach, you have kind of a Louisville flavor on that staff with Jeff and with Colby. Can you just talk about why you brought those guys in and what you hope they bring to the table?
Well, you know, I made a big swing to try to get Jeff here. Thought I'd probably strike out, but you know, I know how much he loves the state of Kentucky, how much he loves the city of Louisville, and he really just wanted to come back and be closer to home. And the fact that we've worked so well together in the past. You know, we both really understand what it is we want to do. I really love having Jeff on my staff because he has some different background than I have, and we've kind of related the offense and, you know, been able to combine some different things. And he's got just a great football mind, so it makes it fun in the meetings, and we can switch plays as far as formations and motions and have the same progression for the quarterback. That makes you look a little more complicated than you really are. So to have him come here and you know, be our offensive coordinator, assistant head coach is, you know, very, very valuable. He's also a great recruiter. You know, has done a great job in recruiting. To have Colby come in, you know, is something that when Colby played for me, he's always one of my favorite players. Really learned and was a great competitor. You know, a guy that started for 4 years, and very, very successful. Graduated in 4 years, which means a lot, says a lot. He's going to be a great coach. Understands our offense, has played the game at the highest level. So I think that's really good for our players. That, you know, they see that here's a guy teaching me, and he's done those exact same things at the highest level.
You made a decision to kind of open up things to the public and the media this fall or this spring, let everyone in. Were you pleased with the response you got as far as today and throughout the spring from fans coming out and getting to watch you guys during the spring?
Yeah, I think it's been great. You know, we've had some guys that have been to every single practice and even getting up early in the morning when we had to do that and work around our schedule. I think we had the best crowd they've ever had here for spring, and it's a great start. The enthusiasm is exciting. You know, what we have to do, and all our players and coaches need to understand, it's up to us to put a great product on the field, be entertaining, win a lot of games, and then everybody comes and watches us play. And that's what we want to do. We want to put a great, exciting football team on the field and let the fans relate to the players. You know, let the fans kind of get to know the players, not only as football players and entertainers, but as people. So we're working hard at that.
Obviously, every situation is different, every job is different, but how does this rate with your other jobs as far as the players understanding what you expect and what you want from them?
It's right there. You know, it's right there. I think it probably was a little bit easier when I first went to Louisville because I worked for John L., and there's a lot of carryover in everything that we did. When you have a change, you know, the players, it's hard on them. They have to learn to adapt and move forward and not think about what we did before the new staff got here. And I've been very pleased with our guys and their attitude and willingness to learn. I think they're very excited about the schemes that we run and see how, you know, that'll relate to giving them a chance to play in the future.
Anything else for Coach?
The spring
him being over now, what now? Like for the immediate future?
Well, our players get back in the weight room and grind away for a little while. Work extremely hard getting ready for finals. I think that's something that they all have been doing a good job of, and have been doing a nice job on our grades. But we have to finish now. We have to finish the semester right. Then they'll get a little break for about 3 weeks, and we come back in June and get back in the weight room and condition, and then our players will run the workouts out on the field. And that's what's so valuable about spring ball, is now there'll be carryover when our players go out by themselves.